Hello, my name is Michael Glenn, and in this episode of the Dojo Show, we're studying the kata Kirinohitoha. The name of this kata comes from a classical kabuki drama, and it means one leaf of the paulownia tree falls to the earth. The winds of change are upon us, and it signifies the transformation of the seasons or of change in life. And in this kata, we're going to use Juppo Sessho to discover these kinds of changes. Tonight I want to play with Juppo Sessho. Jupo Sesho is something I first heard about back in 2003. Sensei made that the theme for the year that year. And every year since 2003, it's something that keeps coming up again and again and again. And this last year, he kept talking about it a lot. Last year, in 2013, we had numerous themes that we were studying. But Jupo Sesho was fitting in with all of those themes in an interesting way. So we're going to do a kata to start off with, but it's going to expand from there. So Jesse's in Daijodan no kamae with the sword. I'm in this seigan no kamae here. Okay, so he comes to cut. I slam this to the side of his head, knock him down, and I'm going to press with my kunai into his armpit. So this kata is called Kirinohitoha. Means one leaf of the paulownia tree. There's a saying in Japan that when one leaf from the paulownia tree falls, then the winds of change are upon us. And that usually happens in the autumn. So that's when the seasons are changing. And so that's a good kata we're doing for tonight because we're changing tracks here too. So from my seigan no kamae here, he cuts in. See how I just drive this in here, okay, and receive. I don't want to evade too far. So I can bring this back if I want to do a big strike, and I'm striking into the side of James's head here. Then this can drive into the armpit as I pull his right hand, okay, and then I can drive it down. So I'm in seigan here. That slams into the side of the head, okay. From here, I'm going to pull his right hand and drive this into the armpit here, okay. So from seigan here. So this, you could imagine, that would probably floor him right there, right, if I really do that. And then I drive this in, he falls, and I'm restraining here too. If you want to rid him of his weapon or break his arm, remember this would be a piece of iron if you had a real kunai or a jutte. So you hit it on the bone, and he's got problems. So seigan, this is slamming into the head, okay? So I drive this into the armpit as I'm pulling on this hand, okay? It kind of hurts. One more, James, this way maybe. Seigan here. That's striking into the head. This drives, and you bring him down and press in there, okay? So the initial kata we were doing was like this, right? And then I can attack the elbow here. So we're doing Kirinohitoha, which is a jutte kata or a kunai kata or a kodachi kata. and we're using this to explore Juppo Sesho. So he's over here. So I start off in this seigan no kamae. He comes in, striking to the side of the head, okay? And then the change I just made now is to take the handle and strike into the neck, okay? And you can use other parts of the weapon too. And then the finish is here, poking into the armpit. I'm starting off in my seigan. Remember, seigan is pointing towards your opponent's eyes, okay? And you kick kind of low here, so he's tempted to cut into your head, okay? Okay, so this strike here, remember we're doing Jupo Sesho, so it starts here, or it could start here, but then it changes, okay? That's into the side of the head, and you can imagine a real iron thing hitting the guy would probably knock him down. If it doesn't knock him down, you strike with the handle into the neck, okay? That way. And then here, this drives in. Okay. This is a pretty simple kata, but it's challenging to do well, okay? Seigan. Okay, so I'm striking here with this, and then I'm using the handle of this to strike into his neck. He's in Daijodan, and I'm in Seigan here. That's striking to the side of the head, okay? Then from here, I'm going to drive the handle up under his chin, let him fall, and use this to press into the armpit. The original version we started with is striking into the side of the head, driving this into the armpit right away, okay? But because it's Jupo Sesho, we're going to make a lot of changes tonight. So it's after this strike, I'm striking with the handle up under the chin or into the throat, okay? Seigan, so handle, okay? You saw how James just dropped his sword, okay? It's very startling. So I'm striking with this to the side of the neck or to the head, and then punching through with the handle into the neck, okay? One more time, maybe back the other way. Head, neck. Yeah, he doesn't want to hang on there. So then you can throw your kunai into him. There's like kind of a trick to making that do what you want it to. So I'm striking here, right? I want to keep this connected to the side of his head as I drive that up under. Okay, so it's like that leverage. So this is still staying on the side of the head as you push this up under, right? And it makes his jaw go back and his spine tilt, which is kind of what you want to happen. One more time. Yeah. So this strike here obviously is going to move him, but you see how that's making him move there? He just drops like that? Yeah. And then here you can attack bone, right? Whatever bone is available. Or you can just keep him tied up with your body and hammer away at, yeah. So one other detail that helps, when you make this change, I'm pulling here too at the same time. See this hand?
I just feel a lot of resistance. I want to
Yeah, so obviously we don't want to hurt each other, but when you drive that through, you're pulling this hand at the same time. Hand that back to him for a second. This is something I forgot to talk about when we first did the kata, but you're striking here, and even if you're driving into the armpit or up under the chin, you're pulling this right hand at the same time. Okay, that helps you to control the sword, but it also affects the other guy's balance, right? So that strike helps open up his body, but also pulling this hand at the same time does it. And that's like pulling your hand back to Bobby here, right? Same kind of feeling. And then I strike there, drive that up. The foot movement in the kata is kind of interesting. Like it's here, and you're arcing around into this strike. Okay, so your body kind of arcs around, and this to me reminds me a little bit of the Polonia leaf, which is Kata's named after. You guys may have seen that. It's part of like the crests for certain things in Japan, like the Prime Minister uses it for a crest. So I don't know if you've ever seen it, but that leaf has a certain arc to it that's kind of interesting. So when I'm arcing around the line of the attack, I don't want to come out too far, because then it'll take me too long and he'll cut me. So for me, I like to come right around that center line there and in this way, okay? And by making that move, it disrupts the guy's kamae and will knock him over by itself, right? So here, right? Just my position alone is enough to knock him down, okay? I didn't even need to use power strikes. I didn't have to pull on his arm, none of that. Just the position alone is enough to knock him over, right? So it's important to try to find that. It's difficult to get, but you want to arc this back leg around here, okay? See if you can find that position. James, think of this too like the shuto from Ichimonji, right? It's that same kind of angle.
Are you doing this thing?
Yeah, I am. Sensei, a lot of times with small weapons or with jutte or kunai, he does these different grip changes for striking, right? He always tells us about these. Every time I'm in Japan, he makes a point of showing these kind of things. He'll go like this, he'll turn it like that, strike this way, he'll let it flip back that way, right? It's very important that you learn how to, oh, here's another one, the reverse, right? This way. So you want to learn how to make these manipulations with your hands.
I wasn't even thinking about that part.
Yeah. It gives it a real whack when it strikes.
Yeah, I was thinking about it.
Right. So that's striking across the head. When I insert this under the arm, I'm using it for leverage against the back. Okay, so you guys might have seen that, right, where it leverages up against the back and the armpit. Right now I've got his pec muscle, and I've got the point driven underneath it, and I'm leveraging. Right, it's kind of mean. One more this way. So striking there, right? This drives under, you guys can see it there against his back. And then as I turn this hand, that makes him fall over, okay? So here, I just kill him, right? But here, it's behind his back. And you can see the leverage that it creates, right? So if you have something a little longer, you might be able to see how that leverage happens back there. James, can I do with you? There, it's good. So here, right, I strike it to the temple, driving this behind. Okay.
That's new. I've never done that.
Oh, you've never trained with kunai? It's most of the stuff with kunai is very similar to jutte, or even the kodachi, which you have there. Obviously, they're different weapons, so they have different properties. But the kata that you learn with jutte is often also done with kunai. So they have that similarity.
This is a little like muto dori-ish, right?
It is very much, yeah, and I think that's part of why Sensei last year was doing this kind of thing, because one of the themes last year was muto dori. So a lot last year he kept talking about Jupo Sesho over and over, and that's when I first learned about this weapon, was back in 2003.
So where's Jupo Sesho come from?
Well, Jupo Sesho is part of the kata for this weapon and for the jutte, but it's really a strategy. Jupo Sesho means, the one translation is negotiating in 10 directions. But as you remember from like the Happo Tenchi Tobi, 10 really means all directions. So, and when you say negotiating, it's not negotiating like haggling over a deal, it's more like combat, right? You're negotiating with this other person as they're trying to attack you. And so we're going to elaborate on this Jupo Sesho as we go tonight. I found in 2003 when Sensei first introduced that term, he'd probably been saying it before, but he really focused on it that year as a theme. And I had no clue what he meant. And most of the people I knew in the Bujinkan also didn't really have any clue. We trained on it all year, and some of us got better. But in the years since then, I've grown to understand it. So I feel like now I have a grasp on it. But it's still a very difficult concept to get your head around because it's a broad idea, a broad strategy. So let's look at this again. This time I was starting in seigan here. He comes in. I'm going to allow this to switch. Okay. So you see how easy it was for me to dump James there. One of the reasons it was so easy is because of Jupo Sesho. This is one of the things that took me a long time to understand. If you make these small changes at different points of contact in the kukan, it creates big results, right? And that took me a long time to learn, but it's something that Sensei's been stressing for many years. So I'm going to try to give you guys a technique to do, so we'll keep it simple here. So again, he comes in. I allow this to drop here and then just hook. This time it hooked into his gi. You see where that can strike. Okay. So here, I let the sword go because he was going to fall on it. Yeah. So here, okay, this hooks. Okay, he's getting struck here. So you guys couldn't see, but I'm using that to strike him in Suigetsu as he's falling. Okay, maybe we should go that way. Oh, there. So. See this strike here? And then this is like Ganseki here. Okay. You guys understand? That time I really opened it up so you guys could all see that strike. But usually it's more hidden. Okay. William, can I do with you? So, this is where he's getting that strike in the body, okay? And I've got a lot of friction on the arm here, so I'm just going to use it. One of the changes happens here, okay? I can use that to sweep the arm out and then attack into the body or the face, okay? I'm not really doing it, but that's pretty mean into the face, right? So then here, you can drop him. Hey, on the opening, don't forget how that kuno kata happens. So when I change this grip, I want it to catch his attention. Okay, so it's here. Okay, so as he comes in, it's there. Obviously, I could just drive straight in. You see the yo-yo action there? Yeah, so yeah, this really catches his attention for a second. And that's important because it interrupts his rhythm as he's cutting. You know, if you don't interrupt the rhythm, then he'll just change his cut. And
you're not really taking a step there. You're just basically like right there.
If the distance is right, sure, yeah. If
also a strike too, right?
yeah, it could be. Yeah, I didn't do it, but it totally could be.
It looked like one.
Yeah.
Coming between my eyes.
Yeah, I didn't really do that as a strike, but it totally could be. Does that make sense? So when I was watching you do it, you changed your grip down here.
Okay.
And that doesn't do anything to him, right? So allow it to change here. And then that's how you start to control that space. So this change here is kind of like kuno kata. It's there for some distraction. And then I can pick up the arms, right? Just by making that small change there, that's what threw him. Now, yes, sometimes these are done with tessen, the iron fan, yeah, definitely. So I change this grip. When I do this hook, I want to get into his elbow. See his elbow here? Yeah, it's caused the elbow to bend. If I hook at the elbow, I can control his whole body. If I hook down by the hand, it can get free like that and not do anything to him, right? So by hooking at the elbow, I'm connected to the shoulder there, and I can control his body easier. One more time. So this floats elbow. See what that's done to James's balance? I gave him a headbutt there, right? And then I keep this control if I want it, maybe deal with somebody else. So I'm here, Hapaken. Okay, see how I've got that control on the elbow? That's what's really throwing him there. Hapaken is this double strike to the ears, right? And it's the same word from Kirinohitoha, right? It's leaf, double leaf. Okay. Hapaken here. Right? Here. Okay. Hapaken. See all those small changes, how they add up to something big. Okay. I'm in here, Hapaken. Okay. Then I've picked this up to attack it. Here, okay. Double Hapaken. But my elbows are shielding here. Okay. And that allows me to pick this stuff up. Okay. You guys understand? It's a very small movement. But see if you can get it, okay? I know that I've heard some stories that they're working on stem cell stuff for that, but hey guys, one of the things I like to do with this Hapaken is make sure it affects the guy's kamae. So he's punching here. So here, right? See how I'm driving him back there? And then I can come here with this, right? So I was being very polite to him, but as you deliver this, make sure you're affecting the guy's kamae. And there's a lot of ways to do that. Just come close.
Okay.
So when you do Hapaken, the traditional one is this way, right? Just slapping. But soke usually will do them by striking. So you're striking like that, right? And then you can start to steer the guy. Okay. Those get really ugly and mean, right? So we're not going to focus on them too much. But make sure you're moving him as you enter. I mean, the Hapaken will do its thing, right? And that may be very shocking to him, but keep moving his structure, okay? So this is free here, okay? I got the muto going. I can attack with my legs. Each point you connect to with Jupo Sesho has 10 transformations that can happen from that point, okay? Yeah, watch how I take his elbow, because that helps, right? So here, see this elbow?
See, I'm not getting that elbow.
Yeah, I want to make sure to cover, because he's not usually just going to throw one punch. So I use that to cover, right? And then with the Hapaken, it sort of starts to push the elbow and affect his structure, right?
Weird, because after the Hapaken, I couldn't even stand up.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm affecting your structure, you know, as I move in there. Oh, Sensei, I've seen him do ones too where he uses the thumb as he comes in to strike. Yeah, lots of different places. It could be into the neck. Yeah, come on over.
Oh, I felt that one before. That one. Oh, yeah.
So as you're going in for your Hapaken, right, you okay.
That's that one choke, right? What do you call it?
Itame Jimmy, yeah, pain choke. Yeah. So as you're coming in with your Hapaken, you can drive in with the thumbs, right? Or you can drive in with the base of the palm into the cheekbones, or the thumbs. I've seen Soke do it with the thumbs like this too. Oh yeah, he does all that stuff. So it gets pretty ugly. right? So I'm up against this arm, yeah? And then when I drive in, that drives him with it, okay?
For me, you got under my arm somehow.
Yeah, well, everybody's kamae is a little different. Like, he had his tied to his body, so it changes, yeah. It depends, everybody's kamae changes a little bit. There you go, yeah. I'm doing my Hapaken here, and I'm pressing up against this arm. Okay, so I'm going to use that to create these kind of small changes. This is what Jupo Sesho is about, right? So you make a connection somewhere. In each place you make a connection, 10 directions can spring from there. Okay, Jupo Sesho becomes infinite. So when I first come in, from here I have 10 directions I can go. I choose to go this direction. And then this connection here now can go 10 directions. So I got another connection here that can go 10 directions. Okay, and that's how Jupo Sesho works. Yeah, so Jupo Sesho transforms with each connection you make. And it's very
Where you take me, but each of my body parts can go different places.
each place I have a connection, right? From there I can go 10 directions. And so you want to train yourself to do it very softly. That's the hard part, because it's very easy to start grabbing and forcing, and then that's not really good taijutsu. So as James comes in here, my Hapaken, see how soft I am there? Yeah, very soft. It's like we're dancing. And then here I can attack the elbow. So many possibilities. Jesse? Very soft, right? It's all soft, yeah. So that's the kind of feeling you want to go for, that softness. Let them sort of destroy themselves, knock themselves over. Oh yeah, nice, all those little small changes. So I have this connection that I've made here, and you go any infinite directions with it. So you saw that time it turned into a whole different thing. And each time you do it this way, it's going to be unique, right? He punches, right? If I receive his fist here from, stay still for a second. If I receive his fist here from where I made this connection, I can now go 10 directions. Okay, or really that means any direction. So if I go down, that creates one thing, right? If I throw it out, that creates something else, right? If I throw it up and back, that creates something else. So each thing that I do creates a different response or a different reaction. And so that's what I'm playing with now. So as Jesse comes in here, I've made these connections here, right? And I just use them to create whatever response I want to create. Right, and each one that I've done on you guys has turned into something different. Yeah, his fingers got really locked up there. And you'll see Soke do this all the time. Like it's like seemingly out of nowhere, he'll get this crazy lock on somebody. And this is how it happens. I didn't plan for that to happen. It just occurred naturally as a result of Jupo Sesho. And it was very strong, right?
Yeah, I was like one of the strongest finger lock I ever felt.
He says it was the strongest finger lock he's ever felt, right? So it wasn't my own power doing that, and that's something beyond this class. So I'm not going to talk about that right now, but that's you guys try that out. Oh, nice change. I like that soft change. So this time I'm on this side. You see what's happened here? So I'm in seigan here, he comes in. I just received this here and I'm pressing down in his elbow. Okay, This can allow me to strip the sword. So here, I'm attacking the elbow or the face. Okay, and then I'm going to drive down on his elbow. Okay, starting off in seigan here. So here I'm attacking. Okay, then I press in. This cranks the elbow. Okay, I want to control this. You be careful because it'll flop back into your face, right? You can strike there. One more time. So you can do your Hapaken here. Okay, and then I pick up the elbow. So this can attack the arm or Hapaken up here. And then I use it to grind down the arm into the elbow. That was a strike to the back of the head. So Hapaken to the elbow or to the ear. Okay, and then I'll let this go down. Here it's still possible to strike him on the neck or the head with this, okay? Here I've got the sword trapped, I've got his hands trapped. Let this slip by, attack the elbow or the head, okay? That was a really tight lock on James's thumb. Striking bone, striking the ear. Hapaken, okay? If you use a kunai and do Hapaken, that's going to be pretty brutal. And scraping down here. There, you can stab that right into him. Yeah. Okay. If you had a real kunai, the tips are pointy, and you can throw them like shuriken. All right. What I don't want to do is be like here, because then, or if you pull back, you just cut my arm, right? So I gotta watch that. So I have my kamae low here. How about you cut? See that? How that works? Yeah. And then here you can just take the elbow. I keep this covered all the way through in case he decides to try to swing back on me.
Oh, shit.
It hurts. That's why I wasn't really doing it, because it hurts. You guys understand? It's tricky to go on this side of it. You don't want to leave this arm behind. It'll get cut. Okay, so I just switch here, cover, strike. Try it out, please.
Yes.
Nice changes. Watch the sword, yeah.